Alright, in this video, we're going to see what happens when we have two turrets on the screen. So let's go ahead and just drag it, and let's go ahead and play. Now theoretically, if we have done this correctly, I should be able to hover over one turret, click on it, and the turret range for that one shows up. Awesome. And theoretically, I should be able to hover over the other one, and that one would show up. Awesome. So it seems like our turret range does show up appropriately. Now we still have this problem of two of them showing up at the same time, when in the Bloons Tower Defense, if you play the game, only one shows up at the time. But we'll worry about that later. What I'm concerned about now is, let's say we implement upgrades later, and we manage to upgrade the range for this turret, but not this one. But how can I implement that? How can I show that this has a bigger range? Would I make different sprites with different range values? Like a bigger circle, an even bigger one, and an even bigger one for each one? Could I maybe add different animations for turret range? So like this one would be, I don't know, basic turret 0, like base level, and a basic turret upgrade, maybe. I'm going to show you one way I'm just going to try out right now, and that has to deal with the instance variables and some type of sizing. So this turret has a range. This turret has a range. Now they're not always the same, depending on if I choose to upgrade this turret and not this one at a later time. And if we look here at the properties of this particular object, we see Z orders 2, X and Y position. If I click this one, X and Y position, Z order, notice they're different. These are the properties specifically for this turret object. These are the properties specifically for this turret object. And I can also see here instance variables. So this will override the default values of the variables of the object. So if I go to my object up here, edit object variables, what if I give it a variable of turret range? Let's not call it turret range because we already have our object name called that. Let's go ahead and call it firing range. And let's give it a default value, name value, of 100. Okay. So right now nothing would happen because I haven't implemented it in my events. Let's go ahead and delete this for now. I don't want to keep rotating towards me. But let's go ahead and, after I create the turret range, let's go ahead and change the size of it depending on what my firing range is. So let's look here. I think there is a position? No. Sprites. Size. Here I can change the size. I can scale it, change the height, change the width. What if I scale it? So turret range, and I set it equal to, what was that thing again? The instance variable? Oh, it was firing range, right? I'm going to set it to 0 for now, and I'm going to take a look at my variable, firing range. You can copy that if you want. And my turret is called turret. Alright. So I could set it equal to sprite size variables. Nope. Common expressions, variables, objects variable. I want to set it equal to turret, the firing range. So here's the syntax. The name of your object, turret, dot the variable, and the variable name. So let's go ahead and see what happens. Good. Alright, I'm clicking, but nothing is showing up. Now why is that? It might be too small. Let's go ahead and change that for now. Change object variables. Let's say 800. I could be making it too small. Or I could be making it too big. I still don't see it. I think it might help if I make this, let's see, make this have a white background. Because right now it's transparent and it's just a thin line. I might have increased the scale too much. So let's go ahead and give it a white background. Save up here. Alright, now it's white background. And let's go ahead and add that turret range. Oh, so we see that it's really big. It's probably encompassing this whole thing right now. So it's probably too big. Let's go ahead and change that to maybe 5. I'm just guessing right now. Change it to 5. Okay, so there we have a firing range. Now, we notice these are the same size, right? So, how can I make it unique to each one? Let's say this one has been upgraded to be 8, while this one's still 5. Well, we can do that right here. I'm going to go ahead and assign this one 8. And notice, this one is still 5. And if I go ahead and try it out, that's my 8. Here's my 5. Now, if I was to create a new turret of this type, what would the firing range of that be? Take a guess. Well, let's go ahead and check. It's 5. Because I have set the default value for any of these turrets I create to be 5. And so if I create a new one, it's default 5. But this one, I've changed it, so it's 8. What does that do? Oh, it resets to the original value. Awesome. So we have figured out the secret to giving individual turrets their own firing range. We can actually do the same thing for other things, like firing rate. Let's go ahead and right now, it's not a child variable. Right now, Alright, let's go ahead and redo that. It was firing rate, and that was 5. Let's go ahead and make another one called, oh sorry, this was firing range. Let's call this one firing rate. I don't know. Let's give it 1 for now. And you see that we can make each one of these unique to each turret. We'll be diving into this a little bit deeper in our next video.